Welcome back to the show. We got Ethereum ETFs and Markus Infanger from Ripple X and the real USD. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. We're at 59 cents, ranging between 59 and 62 cents. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's take a look at the numbers in the market real quick. We see 2.52. Let's just refresh this really quickly. $2.52 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 2.7% collectively right now. 66,100 plus for Bitcoin, 3,400 plus for Ethereum, 114 billion plus market cap for Tether, and USDC now at the sixth spot is 34 billion plus market cap. XRP falling from 6 to 8 at the number 8 spot. We're 59 cents, as we said, off by 2.5 on the 24, still up by 8.7 on the 7-day. Well, let's get into this. We know not long ago, Stephen Nareyoff was accused of trying to assassinate someone online. And it was so wild and so crazy. We asked both of these gentlemen to join us on a Twitter space for Digital Asset Investor and myself. And we wanted both of them to have an equal platform, so hopefully it would not come to a legal matter, right? But that is what it has become. So it looks like Boring Sleuth, who accused Stephen Nareyoff of trying to assassinate him. Stephen Nareyoff has been gone. He said, a voice for the silenced. As always, I followed through on my promises today. I have filed a defamation suit in response to the serious and false accusations made against me here on X. This stand is not only a personal defense, but a clarion call to defend First Amendment rights from individuals being unjustly silenced through baseless claims, coordinated harassment. The era of falsely discrediting truth tellers ends now. Wow, this is serious. It is time to draw a line in the sand. The moment has arrived to unmask the anonymous false prophets who thrive on fabricated stories to raise their own profile. Consequences for defamation apply in the digital realm. This lawsuit, much like my Federal Tort Claims Act against the United States government, transcend financial considerations. They are both a stand against injustice and false persecutions. My FTCA claim is based on me being falsely prosecuted for 3.5 years with evidence the government fabricated. Both lawsuits are designed to deter unjustly silencing others, those who speak the truth, so they do not endure the unjust ordeal I was forced to defend against. He says, I speak for those who value the truth in public discourse. My goal is to embolden the silenced and send a message to those who misuse their power through politically motivated prosecutions and baseless accusations. This fight is a reminder that the truth prevails and those who suppress it will face consequences. The truth for free speech continues, and we will not be silenced. Accountability, safeguarding our democracy and liberties are paramount. Here's the link to the case where he is, in fact, suing Boring Sleuth here for those accusations made against him online. Now, you know, Digital Asset Investor and I were doing a Twitter space at that time, and we offered both of these gentlemen to come on and publicly air out their comments so they could hopefully get this resolved in a public format without anyone coming in and interrupting that space. So it would not come to what we're staring at right now. But Boring Sleuth refused. And he was very, very rude and ignorant towards me when he did it too, by the way, I don't mind adding. And he had no reason to be. I told him we were just trying to make sure we gave everybody an open forum so it wouldn't get to this level. But now it has. So congratulations. I hope Boring Sleuth has got the information he needs, because if he doesn't, you got the trials of Job ahead of you, fella. Yet another crypto bill has sailed through the U.S. House with no sign of reciprocation on the Senate side. Again, there's no reason at this point to believe that the Operation Choke Point 2.0, which is General and Senator Elizabeth Warren's anti-crypto army, has backed off one bit, because they have not, right? And this week in Congress, we see here from Ron Hammond, has been some of the craziest weeks in U.S. politics. Now that crypto is an election issue, it has found itself in the mix. This week, we have a crypto AML bill vote in the House. Many in D.C. venturing to Nashville, including Trump and more. First, the Financial Technology Protection Act, and it says here this bipartisan bill has passed the House twice before under Ted Budd's leadership. It says he now leads the Senate version. Senator Gillibrand, this bill is slated for a vote tonight and should pass again. The bipartisan proposal brings together industry experts, government agencies to craft recommendations to tackle money laundering threats in crypto. It's a simple concept, but it is more important having experts in the room is needed to tackle this rapidly evolving sector. Goes on to say here the legislation is also a drastically different approach to the other proposals in the Senate, like Senator Elizabeth Warren's DAAMLA and Mark Warner's Can See. AML concerns with crypto have died down after multiple hearings on Hamas and Iran financing funds found crypto wasn't large financing source as it was originally claimed from the lioness Senator Elizabeth Warren. I added that part. The clearest example of this turnaround was Senator Fetterman, who's another moron in the Senate. Anybody can grow up and be in the Senate. This guy is. Comments stating he at first thought crypto was main funding mechanism for Hamas. Because see, he's a pawn too. He don't even have his ears up. He didn't even want to look at anything. Yes, that's what I heard. That's what I'm going with. But learned through hearings it wasn't the case. Props to the senator admitting he changed his mind. Yeah, I guess. You know what I mean? The hype bar's low to get an attaboy these days. Speaking of changing minds, many have been speculating on whether VP Harris could be an opportunity for crypto. She doesn't have a large record on crypto, but important to remember, agencies like the SEC have largely been driving the policy. Who would she nominate is unclear. As for the R side, former President Trump will be speaking at the Bitcoin Nashville, marking a huge first for the industry. It's one thing to be pro-crypto in policy positions, but actively courting and speaking to the crypto industry is something no party nominee has done yet. Well, it's about to happen in a couple days here. Several R senators will be going to Nashville as well, which is key given how most of the active crypto legislation now sits in the Senate. It's not just R's, though. Ro Khanna is in the late edition and looks to build off his recent roundtable with industry executives and the White House. Shout out to Ro Khanna for putting that together. But obviously no one from the White House that could effectuate policy was there or intends to change their position at this point. He says, I'll be heading down to Nashville along with Blockchain Association colleague Dan Spuler and Michael Postupak. And it says, be sure to reach out if you are around and always want to celebrate the ETF for Ethereum approval. He says, with next week shaping up to be the last for Congress before returning back to their districts, be sure to keep an eye on the Senate Ag Dems. He says the committee seems determined to move forward on a market structure bill different from what the House passed. So, Senate Ag Dems, pay attention to that. Time is short. One optimistic viewpoint, though, came from Representative French Hill on Laura Shin when he noted that if time runs out, then he would make it a priority in 25 for market structure legislation and stablecoin regs to be the first set of bills sent to the president's desk. And this is basically in line with what we've said here on the channel, right? Is that if the left and the Biden administration, now Biden-Harris, want to change their stance and win some voters back on their side of the aisle, you better get that bill put through. Because we've already figured out collectively that your words don't mean anything. Because if you don't, Trump's going to put it through early 25. Listen to Representative Wiley Nickel, Democrat in the House, who absolutely understands crypto and was paramount in getting the huge bipartisan effort to vote for the crypto legislation that recently went through. Take a listen.
When it comes to some of the policies that you care about, crypto, for example, we talk to you about with frequency. Would you expect her to differ from the Biden administration? For example, would you think that she would allow Gary Gensler to continue on as chair of the SEC?
You know, that's obviously an important issue to me. You know, I fought so hard to get 71 Democrats to join with my Republican colleagues on Fit 21, you know, the first time we've ever voted on crypto legislation. And I'm really hopeful that we're going to see a little bit of a reset from Vice President Harris. I'm working behind the scenes to encourage them to embrace digital innovation, to keep those jobs here in the United States. So I'm hopeful that we'll see, you know, some good comments come out of this new campaign, because this is she is running in her own right, and that's an issue I think that really matters, especially because we're seeing Donald Trump going to Tennessee on Saturday to give a major speech on crypto. Mm-hmm. We can't let this be a partisan issue. It's got to stay in that bipartisan category.
It really does, and I super agree with him, and Representative Wiley Nickel is a huge crypto advocate, and I love that he has been able to bring so many people from the D's over to crypto inside of the House. We need the same thing done in the Senate, and the quickest way to do that is to vote out and unseat Elizabeth Warren, vote for John Deaton, get him in there, and let's get Massachusetts and America back on track. There's no question about that. You could donate at johndeatonforsenate.com. And here we have it. Spot Ethereum ETF gets its final sign-off to begin trading today. And the markets go wild in 3, 2, wait for it. Yeah, you know, if we don't get that, then you know that the Ethereum spot ETFs are going to be received completely different than the way the Bitcoin ETFs were received, right? So that's going to be something to watch. Currently today, we're not seeing anything in the market that says it's a catapult, but we're going to keep an eye on it. You know, these things could jump off at any time now that we've seen the approval. So Coinbase celebrates it as well. They say today the SEC approved 9 spot ETFs. I always mess this up. SEC approved 9 spot Ethereum ETF applications. Their much celebrated arrival marks another important milestone for crypto and expanding access to diversifying our crypto economy. There's no doubt about that. And I say to you, watch out for the rest of the market, because when we get U.S. legislation, what happens to USD Tether? I'm telling you, they're putting these new liquidity hoses in Bitcoin's pool and Ethereum's pool. So if they shut down USD Tether, the client money will still flow from the actual ETF side. You hear where I'm coming from? Grayscale's excited too to announce the launch of Grayscale Ethereum Mini Trust. Investors can get Ethereum exposure in their portfolio at 0% fee for the first 6 months. Now that is going to attract quite a few people, I would imagine. And here we see CoinDesk obviously celebrating the fact that Ethereum, because there are a bunch of Ethereum VCs and backers and maxis, right, always throwing shade on Ripple and XRP and having to take the articles down, and we didn't know that they did that. Right. For the financial services GOP, the SEC's final approval of spot Ethereum ETFs is another step towards making digital assets more accessible to American investors. That's right. And also making sure that USD Tether is not the only source of liquidity to the asset. You heard it here first. Heard it here first. And we can't have it all be about Ethereum. Zonex's integration with Ripple and the XRP ledger, a significant milestone in the journey to enable the internet value, setting new standards in the digital asset space. We know congratulations are in order to Zonex for being chosen by NASDAQ-listed company Oxbridge, baby. Yeah, we love seeing this. This is amazing. I love seeing this. I know you love seeing this. And this just tells me, like the CME group listing XRP for a reference rate for financial institutions, it's because they plan on using it, ladies and gentlemen. They plan on using it. And very quickly here about the real USD, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a listen here. This whole thing's great. Shout out to Tony. He did a great job with this interview, as always. But let's turn it on right here about the real USD.
That the SEC has played a role of stifling innovation quite a bit over the last couple of years. If you look at that through the lens of, innovation and also just particularly the crypto industry, it's definitely not been a positive thing. And it's just unfortunate to see. It feels like the US could be way more a leading force and way more dominant, similar to what has happened in the internet era, right? And I would say, that's paid off very well for the US at large. And so, again, we're launching the Ripple stablecoin like we've launched any of our products with a compliance first mindset. We are in touch with the relevant regulators and will continue to be, and we'll make sure we play by the book like we have with payments and everything else we've been doing.
No question about it. And the real stable coin, the real USD, is going to be a game changer. As I've said before here, look at what USD Tether did for Bitcoin, right? In fact, it did so much for it that they're making sure that they have spot ETFs. So when they pull USD Tether out of it, they're still going to have liquidity pouring into it from the traditional investors, right? You could see it coming. The real USD is going to be backed properly with the right backing, U.S. treasuries, other assets. This is the right way to do it. And I firmly believe that they waited to do these things, whether it was happenstance or calculated. It was the right way to handle it, because if they had pursued smart contracts or stable coins prior to the lawsuit, it would just be more legal arguments for the SEC to hold up the innovation of the XRP ledger and the company Ripple. And I'm glad that they've held off as long as they have, because now that we're here, we truly are in a moment where it's any day now we could expect to hear from Judge Annalisa Torres. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Let's take a positive decision in the case with a low fine or no fine would be really optimum. And then Ripple's off to the races launching their stable coin. And then either Kamala gets her ass in line and gets back in line with crypto and pushes that through, which I don't know that she has the moxie to get done, or we're going to get it in early 25, as Representative French Hill said, because Trump will be in, and that's going to get done, right? I mean, if you watch my first video from this morning, Bloomberg's teaching the sheeple about Bretton Woods, about how it's time for a change, right? They tell the masses last, right? We've been in this space long enough to learn that little trick, right? So if Bloomberg's starting to teach the masses about the U.S. dollar and its reserve and how it's not on gold anymore like they just did this morning, what does that tell you? And do you find that mutually exclusive with that we're on the precipice of seeing the real USD be launched? Knowing how many people like Rosie Rios are at Ripple or come from the Treasury through Ripple's camp? You think this is an accident? I assure you, as Linda P. Jones has said on this show, when it comes to money, nothing's left to chance. Could we be getting ready to see the breakout of a lifetime? And might I say, another breakout of a lifetime? Because it happened in 2017, 2018. If I wasn't here to see it myself, I wouldn't believe it either. But I was here. And I damn sure did see it. I can't guarantee nothing. Will this go to $150 like this did? Because I don't mind telling you, this breakout started about April of 2017, went up, fell back, and that's quite a bit of a pullback, sideways capitulation, and then blast off again, and it went up to 384. That's what happened. Now, are we about to see something like that happen again, but from here instead of down here at 0.02 of a penny? Then it went to 0.06 of a penny. Then it jumped into 20-cent range, lived there for a long time, 20, 30-cent range, bounced around, popped up and down, right? 50 cents, this, that, and the other, and then boom, 384 is where it went. And we've been 4 years plus since then. That's where we're at. I couldn't be more excited. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. You want to support the channel, we appreciate anything that you can do. digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone for next to nothing. Come on in. Get our daily videos with 0 YouTube ads and extra content to boot and great conversations. That's how we have to do it. I'm going to leave it right there. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.